Welcome to the Quant Strategy for CAT session from Vistamind. In the next 45 minutes to 1 hour, my endeavor is to kind of give you a complete overview of what a quant section for the CAT exam is going to be, especially looking at what CAT 2015 was and the previous year's CATs were. Second, we also look at what next for the next 5 to 6 months that we have available. How do we go about addressing this issue about scoring very well in the quant exam? Remember, I am not even talking about scoring well. I am scoring really well in the quant section of the CAT paper. Similar kind of things we have done it for DILR, we have done it for verbal ability, and we have done it for overall exam also. So for this session particularly, I'm going to keep it very focused on the quant section. If you have any more questions at the end of the section, please do message me or mail me. I will give you my email ID as well as a phone number. Okay. So once again, welcome back. Welcome to the Vistamind session today on quant. The first point that obviously everybody looks at is, do we really target 99+ percentile? To get that 99+ percentile, what scores are required given that there are about 102 marks available for that particular section? We'll also then look at how do you prepare over the next 100 to 150 days. That's what we have. While there is no official information about when the CAT exam is going to be, given the trend of the last couple of years, it's probably going to be the 3rd or the 4th week of November this year. We'll also look at very quickly how one should attempt an exam, attempt a section called quant itself. A lot of us, probably a lot of you, are engineers who think that we're very good at quant. There are lots of non-engineers who think they're very bad at quant. Both these thinking or thoughts are wrong, is my understanding. To a large extent, not necessarily engineers are very good at quant, because 11th and 12th class engineering, 11th and 12th class mathematics has nothing to do with what comes in CAT. Similarly, those people who are non-engineers need not lament that the fact that they don't have quant after, or the mathematics after their 10th. The CAT section of the paper, of the CAT, the quant section of the CAT paper is primarily the 8th, 9th and 10th class math. In fact, I suspect that a good 10th class student will crack this CAT exam better than some of us engineers. I'm saying us engineers because I'm also an engineer, or a former engineer, I would like to put it. Now I'm an MBA. As you would have seen, those of you who have just joined in, my name is ARKS Srinivas. I'm an engineer in electronics and communication from Osmania University, Hyderabad. I've done my MBA from IIM Calcutta way back in 1997. For the last 17 years, I've been training students for CAT and sent a lot of them to the IIMs. But prior to joining CAT training, I also worked with Maruti Udyog Limited as a territory manager before getting into the complete bandwagon of CAT training over the last so many years. Okay, my endeavor today is to try helping you two things. One, giving you the confidence that, guys, if you start even today, or forget it, even in the next few days, you can get a 99+ percentile, whatever may be your background. You may be BA in English, you can still crack this exam called CAT and the quant section. Similarly, if you're already written CAT once and you have got a 94, 95, 80, whatever percentile, our endeavor should and will always be to try to get that 99+ percentile. Can you get 99.9+? Yes. How is the plan for the next 45 minutes? Hang on, let's see what we can do. So here is where the first thing comes in, just for you to recap, those of you who do not know about the CAT 2015 paper. 2015 was a single day exam in 2 different slots, where there were 3 sections given to you. Quantitative ability had 34 questions, 60 minutes. Data interpretation and logical reasoning had 32 questions, again 60 minutes. And verbal ability and reading comprehension had 34 minutes and 60 minutes. Totally 100 questions per 180 minutes. There was a time in CAT where they used to give you 2 hours and give you many more than these 100 questions. In fact, I remember writing my own CAT in CAT 1994, where there were 175 questions for 2 hours. The beauty of it is, it was of course at that point of time a paper and pencil test. Today it is an online test where you get it, or rather, let me put it this way, it's a computer-based test, not really an online test. But the level of difficulty, you will be surprised, has been more or less the same. If anything, it has kind of gone down the moment it has become an online exam, or so to say computer-based exam. There are reasons for that, because people are not very comfortable writing on the exam, writing on a computer or using a computer kind of things. But having said that, let me also tell you that the cutoffs have really not changed also. If the paper is very easy, the cutoffs obviously will go up, and if the cutoffs are less, or if the paper is difficult, the cutoffs will obviously go down. It has really nothing to do with the difficulty of the paper that you should be worried about. It should be only worried about relatively what you have done or not done. That matters. Just 1 second, let me see, somebody has a problem with the audio. So this paper, in fact, anybody who has not returned the CAT exam or has only heard about that possibly a CAT is a very difficult paper would be surprised to find out that, look, if anything, this is something which is my stated belief for the last 16 years, that probably if you prepare well, CAT is the easiest exam, because it is not random. I'm sorry using the word random, like a ZAT paper, or changing too much like an IIFT paper. There is a pattern, there is a method in the madness that CAT comes in, and it's almost predictable what is a CAT question. In fact, when you see a question, you know that it could be a CAT question. That is the level of consistency that the IIMs have maintained over the last 25 plus years. You'll be surprised. Because of which, if one prepares consistently, I suspect that getting into an IIM is not going to be difficult at all in the first place. Okay, keep that in mind when I am talking about it. Here is where the next part talks about the marks. Mind you, these are the marks that CAT 2015 marks and percentiles. If you notice, the cutoff in all exams is typically around the 80 percentile mark. It is typically the 80 percentile mark, which means, just look at this. If you can see what I am drawing, it's 30 marks out of 102. If you have 34 questions in the exam, you are expected to get 10 correct to get a 80 percentile. I have rounded it off to make it easier. It could have been 29.5 or 30.5 or whatever that number may be, but at 30, that is 10 correct out of 34 in 60 minutes. Please understand this, 60 minutes, 34 questions available. You just need to get 10 correct. You will get your 80 percentile. At 67, that is 22 correct. That is 22 out of 34 is 2/3 on an average, 2/3 approximately. Remember, in your engineer, in your 10th, in your 12th, you would have got 90%. Some of you got 80%. Here, we are talking about 66% mark in the quant section. You will be getting 99 percentile. Trust me, friends, it's not difficult. Trust me also when I'm saying this, the reason why people bungle this exam up is because they feel that the damn exam is so difficult that they don't find the easy ones. It's like, to be honest, there is a ball to be hit like Virat Kohli does all the time. Except in the same pitch, somebody finds it extremely difficult simply because they don't know how to maneuver with the bat and the ball. That is where your training, your consistency, and of course the knowledge of this exam, of the areas, come in handy. 67 marks is 22 questions, 23 questions out of 34. 60 minutes are there. Typically, please realize that people used to talk about CAT being a very fast exam where you need to do every question in less than a minute. Here we are talking about every question. We have close to 3 minutes, 2.5 to 3 minutes. Even if you do 3 minutes, you're talking about 20 questions you can solve. And if you can get most of them right, let's say 17 right and 3 wrong, you will still get something like, 16 threes are 48. That's close to 95 percentile. Every interview, every institute will not have, every institute will be able to call you at that cutoff scores. I'm not just talking about quant, guys. Just look at some of these like data interpretation, logical reasoning. At least last year's paper, it was slightly tougher than it used to be. At something like 40 marks out of 100, you're talking about getting 95. At about 50 marks, you're getting about 95. And just realize, out of the 300 marks, if you want to get into the IIMs, by the way, the new IIMs, all the Raipur, Rohtak, Ranchi, Trichy, Udaipurs of the world have called students at 155 odd marks. Just this mark that I'm looking at here in blue, this is 97 percentile for the open category, friends. For the open category, it's 156.5. In fact, just less than that, it's 96.8 percentile. Somebody is asking a question. Second, not just that, if this is open category for the new IIMs, of course, if somebody has 98.5 and a decent 10th and 12th, you will get Bangalore, you will get a lot of other calls also. If you are an NCOBC, your scores in the CAT full exam, where the requirement would have been just about 123, 124 out of 300, mind you. And to give you information on the others, if you were a SC candidate to get into the IIMs, the best IIMs, your score need not have been more than 101, 102 score. Naresh, I am not able to understand what kind of disturbance you have. Let me see if there is anything that I can help you with. Or please try rejoining it, Naresh. It will be useful. Then the next one, if you are an ST, scheduled tribe candidate with decent marks, of course, of 10th and 12th, the cutoff, even in IIM Ahmedabad, Bangalore, Calcutta, is closer to 70 to 73 percentile. That's 81 marks out of 300. Now, I assume all the time that, okay, you start with saying that in the general category, you need to crack it. And therefore, trying to get that 99 percentile in each of the sections. And right now, more particularly, I am going to concentrate on the quantitative section itself. You can clearly see that if you can score 2/3 of the questions, you are well on your way to making your 99 percentile. Is there a method? Is there a method in which you can plan? What is it that is there in quantitative ability? Is it really huge amount of mathematics, or is it something very, very specific? Let's look at it one by one. This is the way we would like you to, in fact, make a note of it if you can. It is useful for every one of you, even if you have started preparing right away. This is what, over the last so many years, the CAT has always given. There are 6, you can divide the quantitative ability section into 6 areas, 5 areas typically actually. The arithmetic area, we'll talk about what is there in arithmetic, numbers and number theory, algebra, geometry mensuration, and pure math. Clearly, if you see, all the areas are important. Lots of people ask me on Quora also saying that, sir, which are the most important topics in quant? When you look at these numbers here, the only topic which I can leave out is almost miscellaneous, because I don't know what to do with it. I don't know what is miscellaneous. You know that pure math means there is going to be a permutation combination or a coordinate geometry kind of an area. Geometry and mensuration, one single topic can give you 15 to 20% marks. Algebra, we'll talk about what is that, but about 25 to 30% marks. So clearly there is no one single topic that one should leave out when you are preparing at least for the exam. See, there are two different things. Preparation is something different from the actual exam. By the time you go to November, when the actual exam comes in, you would have tried solving these some 10 times, 5 times, 3 times, whatever number of times. And then you would have decided, yaar, mera to ye hoga nahi. I cannot do this. When you know that I can't do this, that is the time when you leave it, not today, 6 months before the actual exam. Some of you may be very, very, very unhappy with, let's say, a simple interest, compound interest. वो समझ में नहीं आता है क्या करना है. Yeah, permutations and combinations, you have no goddamn clue कितने के बार कुछ भी पड़ेगा समझ में नहीं आता question क्या है. If I don't understand what the damn question is, what will I solve? Maybe yes, but that's not today. That is a strategy for the exam which is different from preparation strategy. At the time of preparing, you have no such, selection issues. You need to do every area, cannot leave any area unprepared. For all you know, the easiest question in the entire paper may come from that area which you are supposedly not good at. But if it's an easy question, remember it's just a formula that you need to put in. And that's the reason why we recommend all the time that you need to go through all the areas. There is zero doubt about it. And just follow. In fact, I'm telling you guys, just follow that we have what we try to tell you. Chances are very, very high that you will be anywhere 95 plus percentile. After that, whether it is 99 or 99.9, that is the extra, push that you need to give it to yourself, extra commitment that you need to give it to yourself. Let's look at what are the topics a little more in detail. Arithmetic, approximately 6 topics. Equations, ratio, proportion, variation. Percentages and profit and loss typically is considered one topic. Simple interest, compound interest. AMA, averages, mixtures, allegation. Time and work, time, speed, distance. These are your arithmetic topics. And out of 34 questions, you can easily expect about 6 to 7. 5 to 6 to guarantee. Similarly, if you look at numbers, number theory, number systems. Number theory, basically your LCM, HCF, rationalization, and your power of n, etc. Sure, Dipanshu. You see that one single topic called numbers again gives you 20% of marks. That's about 5 to 6 questions once again. Add to that, if you can add geometry, whereas all of us have done it in school, 8th, 9th, and 10th, even 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th. You're talking about covering completely about 15 to 16 questions out of the 34, or even slightly more. If you get, as I said, 80% accuracy, you're definite to get your cutoff in almost all institutes. Some institutes may have 90 percentile, but almost all institutes, including the new IIMs, have 80 percentile as the cutoff for each of the individual sections. Algebra, as you can see, is quadratic equations, progressions, indices and logs, inequalities, and special equations. Special equations, hardly one question comes in. Inequalities, one odd question comes in, but of course, the other 3, there could be 2, 3, 2, 3 kind of thing. That's why algebra as an area is about 25 to 30% of the weightage. Miscellaneous is more like logical questions. It can appear, it may not appear, nobody knows. It could be done by intuition rather than a mathematical brain as such. And pure maths is functions and graphs, P and C, probability. Make a note of this. I'll put it up on the website also so that you know how to prepare. You need to prepare area by area. There are some 17, 18, 20 topics. 6 months to go, 18, 20 topics, 20 topics even if I kind of consider it, you are talking about easily almost 180 days or even 150 days, 20 topics, 7 to 8 days per one single topic. 7 days, an hour each, more than sufficient for you to be really, really good in the exam by the time you write the exam. And that's the reason why I strongly, strongly believe that CAT and more importantly, the quant section is not at all difficult if one were to decide that this is going to be your area of marks. In fact, let me also tell you, unlike in reading comprehension or verbal ability, you will not be sure about whether your answer is correct or not. Quantitative ability is an area where you can be 200% sure that you got the right answer, almost. 200% sure, so to say. The reason I'm saying this is, if formula pata hai, so the method pata hai agar, then you will get the right answer. And if you have the answer and there is a choice available to you, you will not make mistakes. That's also we have seen over the so many years that the strike rate or the accuracy rate in quant typically is higher than, let's say, obviously verbal ability and reading comprehension. Let's look at what do you need to be brilliant in quantitative ability. Two areas. One, the basic quant foundation. You need to know the basics of numbers, even, odd, real, rational, prime, coprime, composite, all these kind of things, and the way they are used in the exam. Prime numbers, there are easily 1 or 2 questions almost all the time. Converting a fraction into a rational number, or rational number into a decimal into a rational number is again a very, very important part of your understanding of quant foundation. Then indices, the powers, a to the power m, b to the power n kind of questions. While they may not directly come in, they are very useful for you understanding the whole of quant and numbers. Logarithms. There could be 1 odd question, but logs are going to be useful for you even when you are doing your MBA. And lastly, but not the least, the basic functions and polynomials. Understanding how a function works. How does an e to the power x function look? How does a sinusoidal function look? How does any f of x look? Incidentally, if you go to some of these institutes for interviews, they ask you, can you draw a graph if the equation is, let's say, 3x square minus 2x plus 5? Some general random number, or sin x by x mod. Please draw a graph. You might have done that in your engineering or in your 10th class, but the idea is not that it is, pure mathematics. It's about, can you put x and x1 number and get a y? That is what they're trying to figure it out. And of course, knowing your quant foundation will make you very, very comfortable in your algebra and pure maths. The other area is speed mathematics, which will come handy in 2 areas. Of course, arithmetic, but definitely also in data interpretation. You are expected to be good in tables up to 90. Somebody will tell me, sir, but there is going to be a calculator. Why do I need to learn this? Mind you, friends, it's much faster to do it without the calculator in an exam. Remember, this calculator is not that you are given a calculator. If the calculator is damping, it's going to scream. You need to click, 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 click. Click will take you more time than to do it faster. And more importantly, CAT is the only exam which gives you like this. ZAT, SNAP, NMAT, all of them. NMAT probably still gives. SNAP and IFT, etc. All paper and pencil tests. You don't get any calculators anywhere. Why concentrate only on an exam called CAT? While of course CAT is what you want and get into the IIMs, but be fast in your speed math. You would be much better off than the guy who is clicking the calculator. Squares of 30 up to 30 and cubes up to 12. Fractions, this is the most important area. These two rather are very, very important when you talk about. You need to know the fractions and the conversion of percentages into fractions almost by heart. The moment I say 3 by 7, you should say, okay, what is 42? Approximately it will be 42% or 42.58. Why do you know this? Because I know that 1 by 7 is 142857. So you will know that, okay, there is a method in the madness. I mean, I'm not going to go into the depth of this, but you can just see this one. 1 by 7 is 0.142857. So what should be 2 by 7? Twice of this. Very clearly it will be 285714 if you multiply by 2. 3 by 7. If I multiply this by 3, the answer is 0.428571. This property of 7 will give you answers faster than you can think. That's the reason why you need to know these things. So basic ingredients for quant, get your basic quant foundation right and get your speed math right. This will take you probably about 2 weeks maximum, and this will take you for the everyday 10 minutes max for the next 1 month to 2 months. I'm not saying you need to go to sit and by heart these. Do it 10 minutes a day for the next 2 months. You will be brilliant in your speed mathematics. Add randomly, subtract randomly. You will see that your comfort zone with the numbers will be very, very strong. Okay, keep that in mind when we are beginning quant. In fact, if those of you are absolutely starting your quant or a preparation for CAT, don't spend straight away with the subjects. Yes, you can do that, but spend a lot of time on these two areas that I'm talking about. You will see that you are sharpening the saw, which will make it easier for you to learn algebra, easier to learn arithmetic, easier to learn pure mathematics also. Okay? Next, method of preparing any topic as such. Now, how do you prepare any topic? There is a simple method. There is, nothing great about it, guys. It's just that I'm repeating it. First, don't start with exercise. Read the basics. Read the concept. Any concept. Let's say time, distance is equal to speed into time. How is it related? Speed is inversely related to time. Speed is directly related to distance. Maybe just understand the concept. Once you understand the concept, there may be examples given to you. Solve the examples once again without seeing the solution. Without seeing the solution. If you can't understand, see the solution. Then solve the exercise given it after the set. Whether you do a book like an Arun Sharma book or a Pearson book or a Tata McGraw book or whatever book that you pick up, or you pick up a Vistamind handout of each of these topics. The method is the same. Learn, read the concept, write down the concept, write down the concept, mind you, solve the examples, and then solve the exercise in the handout. If you're unable to solve any question, this is another interesting thing. If you don't solve it, do not give up immediately and start looking at the solution. This is one thing everybody does. And the moment you see the solution, you will feel, oh shit, yeah, I knew this. That is the reason why don't touch the solution. Try, give it 3 to 5 minutes before you kind of say, okay, boss, nahi aa raha hai mujhe. Now let me look at the solution. That is where, once you see the solution, then keep it aside and try resolving the question. This part will ensure that your knowledge, the two things which are required, guys. One is the concept or knowledge. You need to understand. Then application of this knowledge. Application of this knowledge is what I'm trying to say, where you do the exercise. So once you have your knowledge and you have the application, the next one that you require is the speed. That is what we talk about here. This is a purely coined word here, CAT, knowledge or concept, application and speed. But when you get into speed, once you understand one topic, then take a test for that topic-wise test. Topic-wise test. Why? Simply because you thought you understood. Are you able to apply, not just apply, but do it at a faster speed? Do it faster. And that is where taking a test will help. Maybe make it more than one test twice. In fact, there are a lot of people who spend a lot of time doing too many books. That doesn't make sense. Do the same questions again. If you're not doing well in test, go back to each question in the test, resolve it all over again. Go back to the exercise, resolve that entire thing. Go back to the concept and reread everything. Make sure that you do it second time, third time, so that the concept gets completely into your brain. Make sure that you read the concepts which go wrong. This is the simplest way of preparing for a topic, guys. Not that others do not know, but it's just that you are in a hurry to finish. In fact, I was telling somebody in the morning today that look, it is not how much breadth you have of the areas. What is important is what is the depth in one single topic that you know. Because if the depth is good, you will get that 2/3 mark. You need not know 100%. I'm not saying leave out any topic. All I'm trying to say is whichever topic you are comfortable with, make sure that you are very, very good in that topic. This is what our recommendation is. The 100-day plan, if I can use it. We are talking about May, June, July. I'm still considering that you are going to start off in June. By end of July or mid-August, even there, your job, your objective is to be familiar with all topics, all concepts, all formulae. Every day, make a 10-minute speed math exercise, whether it is an exercise by given somewhere else or you make a random exercise for yourself. And every topic you take a topic-wise test after completing each topic. This is what you should do for the next 30 or 40 or 50 days for that matter. I'm not even saying 30 days. It looks like first round, but first round, finish all topics at least once in 30 to 60 days. Then comes, so what do we do? Why is it 30 days? This is where the numbers are. That doesn't mean it's 30, you can make it 50 also, guys. I'm not worried about. Arithmetic, you need 10 days for 5-6 topics, 30 hours on an average. Numbers and number theory, 3 days, 8 hours. Algebra, 7 days, 16 hours. Geometry, 5 days or 3 days and 8 hours again. Likewise, if you can put 30 days for the first 30-35 days. See, I'm giving you the buffer because I know that some of the days you will not be able to study. It is not that all the time you will study. Okay, it is never that all the time you will study kind of things. Therefore, 30 to 40 days, if you can finish all the topics once, it will be an excellent start to your prep. The second round is the mid-August to mid-September round. Mid-August to mid-September round. That means to say, those of you start today, you have really significant time. Yes. Lots of people think that yaar mera 6 mahina hi baki hai. People have started 6 months, 1 year back kind of things. Let me assure you guys, anybody who started 1 year back also hasn't done anything in life. I mean, not hardly anything in life. Most people start preparing now. Therefore, believe me when I'm saying this because I've seen it for 17 years. I don't think your group has changed, and I don't think people ever change in life. You start now, start in a week from now, but once you've decided that MBA is what you want to do, IIM is what you want to get, CAT is what you need to write, start. Use this time available to make sure that for Quant at least, finish the first round by mid-August, and by mid-September, the next 30 days, the idea is to redo every topic the second time. More sectional tests, more topic tests are the order of the day. Here is where I will say you might want to take also area-wise tests, the typical area. Like initially you do topic tests. Now in the second round, instead of doing topic-wise topics, you do area by area. Like you do arithmetic as an area, you do algebra as an area, etc. And that will also give you enough and more value. The third round is the round where you look at the last 30 days or 40 days of your preparation, mid-September to end of October, 40 days, 45 days. Here is where you start finalizing on your strengths and weaknesses within the topics. You may be bad in geometry mensuration. What do I do? 6 questions come in geometry mensuration. Should I leave it? Should I not leave it? That is the decision that you need to take in the end of October. This end of October. You will start taking full sectional tests. That is 1 hour 34-minute tests, 34 question tests. You will by then be writing also a lot of smart cats. What we call the mock cats at Vistamind are called the smart cats. We have 20 of them starting, by the way, on 27th. If you have not registered for this, register for it immediately. 27th, 28th, 29th. Every Friday, Saturday, Sunday. This one is the first one. One more will be in June, July. June will be 2. And after that, every Friday, Saturday, Sunday, there will be 1 mock. You will really not need more than this. We prepare it ourselves. I'll tell you my team, you will realize why that's a very, very strong team which prepares smart cats for you. And more importantly, we also review this paper. We do discussion on this paper on a Monday evening like this at 9:30. I shall also give you a strategy for each of the sections. That is what will make it very, very good for you by the time you come to the CAT exam. And of course, one thing you should never forget for the next 100 days or 150 days till the CAT exam is every day 5 to 10 minutes of speed math. Random addition, random division, doesn't matter. Please do it, guys. Get familiar with your numbers. Okay, this is the broad plan. Guys, if you can notice 100-day plan I'm talking about, you have more than 150 days for the moment that we talk about if the CAT is going to be in November end, which is what we expect any which way. Which means you can have a head start than just about anybody who are there available. Therefore, start immediately is what I would say. Now here is where the basic strategies for attempting, guys. When you attempt, this is more of a strategy for the exam itself, not for preparation anymore. Any exam, guys, will have 3 levels of papers. I mean, I can divide every question into 3 levels of paper, 3 levels of questions: easy, medium, and difficult. What are easy? The easy ones are what? Where you are extremely familiar with, you know the question, you have seen the question before, you know what's the next step, and you will therefore be able to probably solve that in less than a minute or two. Medium level is something where you know you can solve it, but you know also that it just might take extra time. It's a slightly lengthy question. Such a kind of game, it could be a medium level. And the third one is difficult level. देखते ही पता चलेगा कि मुझे तो नहीं आने वाला है, आने वाला है भी तो बहुत time लगेगा. Sorry if you guys don't understand Hindi. What I'm trying to say is a difficult question for you is one which you can't understand what to do for the next step. That's okay. Once you understand that, you will see that the way to attempt exam will become that much more easy. If you notice what I have said, this is something which is very, very important. Putting this, I've learned from my teacher, putting pencil on paper and make a diagram equation after reading the question. That will take you 20-25 seconds. And in the 20-25 seconds, you can decide after, putting the pen on paper, putting an equation, putting a diagram, whatever it is, whether the question is easy, medium, or difficult level. Depending on that, you will also decide whether or not you will solve the question. Here is where strategy, there are 2 strategies I'm going to give you. 34 questions, 60 minutes. Divide these 34 questions into 7 sets of 5 questions each. One set will have obviously 4. 6 5s are 30 plus 4, 7 sets. We have 60 minutes. So divide that also into 7 sets. So 8 minutes per set. So 8 minutes and 5 questions. Into 7, 56. Into 7 will be 35. That's exactly what we have as our plan. In 8 minutes, you are trying to solve 5 questions. One go. Again, I'm not saying you can solve all 5. What I'm saying is that is the plan. First 2 minutes, maybe quickly look at all the 5 questions. Decide which ones to solve. Remember, I said 20-25 seconds to read each question. 5 questions you read will take you maximum of 2 minutes. You still have 6 minutes to go. Even if you touch 3 questions and do it in 2 minutes flat, you are talking about doing 3 in 1 set of 8 minutes. 7 sets is 21, guys. And there still are 4 minutes of buffer, remember. You do one more question, you're talking about 22, which is 99 plus percentile, which is talking about. If you can do 4 questions in this 6 minutes, which you can possibly do if there is a set which is easier, you will end up at 24, 25 net attempt questions. Get about 22, 23 right, you are going to crack the paper out of shape. But the key thing is the speed. You will not see if you're very afraid of this paper, if afraid of getting the right answer or the wrong answer for that matter, you will take too much of time to solve the question. This is one of the biggest mistakes that the students make. Because you have 60 minutes, you think that you can spend 2 minutes for each question. Yes, of course you can, theoretically. But can you do it in 30 minutes flat? If you can, please try doing that, because you will have time to review. The entire idea of speed math, the entire idea of doing so many tests, sectional tests and smart cats, is to kind of give you that speed to do the 34 questions in that 50, 55 odd minutes. If you can touch 33, 34 questions, you might obviously leave out 3 or 4 because they are very, very difficult. I can tell you with all my experience in the last 15 years that anytime there are 100 questions given to you, 30 to 35 of them will be very easy. 30 to 35 of them will be medium level difficulty, and the rest 30-35 will be difficult level questions. So even if you touch the easy and medium level completely, you're going to get 99 percentile. And just remember this, if you get 99 percentile in all the 3 sections, you're going to be, except probably I am Ahmedabad or Calcutta, if you're a general category student, for which you need 99.6 plus, you will get everywhere else. Everywhere else. Of course, I am expecting that if you want to get into an IIM Ahmedabad and a Bangalore or a Calcutta, IIM Calcutta, I think you need to just push yourself to do the 27, 28 questions. There is no let up, guys. You need to try getting that 200 plus mark. Remember, I've told you this a little while back. Just to understand, I'll just go back to this. The numbers that you are given, those of you who have not seen it, at 99.5 percentile, we are talking about 193 marks. At 200, you are going to get 99.7. At 200 out of 300, mind you, is again 2/3. There is no reason why you can't get it, provided you take up the challenge to improve yourself very, very quickly over the next 6 months. Even if you today write a mock CAT, which I've said 27th we are starting off, even if you have 30 marks, over the next 25 weeks, you can improve 3 marks each. You're talking about minimum of 75 marks at the bare minimum. At the bare minimum, 3 marks is 1 question, guys. Every week I'm talking about. I think, guys, the only reason people don't make it to the IIMs, the only goddamn reason people don't make it to the IIMs is because they do not put in effort. Because it doesn't require intelligence to get into. You need intelligence to be a scientist, guy, not to be a manager. You need to be a resourceful guy. You want to be a manager, you need to be resourceful, not brilliant or intelligent. Yes, if you're intelligent, that's going to help. But if you can consistently do things, I think you will do much better than, let's say, the most intelligent guy in the world. In fact, I've seen lots of people at 95% in 10th and 12th and degree not making to the IIMs, but even 60 guys comfortably making it because they know what to choose and, more importantly, what not to choose as an exam. Akriti KDI is asking a very interesting question. Sir, don't you think that dividing the questions is time consuming? We can straight away go on reading and solving instead of this? Absolutely. That is for people who can do the second round. There are various strategies, Akriti. I'm not saying the first one is the only best method. There is a second round strategy which I'm going to show you where I suspect will be very, very useful too. Here, I am saying do it in 2 rounds. Round 1 will be 30 minutes. Round 2 is 25 minutes. The idea, remember, is that when I read a question, I know whether I can solve it. There's no questions. Can you see the Bhagyesh? Can you see what is there on the left side, left hand thing on you? The PPT I've shared? Yeah, that's all. I'm not showing you any questions. I'm just showing you how to do this. The idea is not to solve questions. You please, for solving, you come on 30th after writing the Smart CAT 1, which Vistamind is going to start off on 27, 28, 29. You will see all questions that I'm going to solve. Here is a strategy for solving. Akriti, as you can see now, 30 minutes. I know that if I go through 34 questions, I know I solve. I don't know, mark. I don't know at all, leave. That is the logic. Solve all these equations and mark all medium level questions. You will see that by the time you come to the 30th minute or 35th minute, if you want, you would have come to the 34th question, seen solved about 8 to 10 questions, marked about 10, 12 questions, and skipped about 8 to 10 questions. That's remember, solved maybe 10 to 12 questions, easy ones. Marked again 10 to 12 questions, which are medium level, and skipped maybe 10 to 12 questions, which are supposedly difficult for you. That is what I am saying you need to do first 30 minutes. First 30 minutes, only the easy ones to be solved. Now you have all the time in the world, 25 odd minutes to pick up all the marked questions. Solve all marked questions. If you still have time, solve some of the difficult level questions. This way, you will see there is a reason why this strategy is. See, why is there a strategy required in the first place? Why can't you, as you, Akriti has just now sent me a message saying that why can't I read and solve, read and solve, read and solve, read and solve? Because when you do this, there is a very big chance that you will spend too much of time on a single question. You think you know that question, therefore you keep on solving. You don't even know that you spent 3 to 5 minutes on that. In the bargain, you may miss out on the very easy questions, which are the 31st, 32nd, 34th, 33rd, 34th questions. Now somebody can say, sir, why don't we go first to 31, 32, 33, 34? Yes, we go. You might miss out on the 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th. You might miss out on the 1st, 2nd, 3rd. The only way you will not miss out on any easy question is when you read all 34. These two strategies, there are maybe a million others that you can try. These two strategies are tried and tested by my students over the last 15 years. And I have seen that they work brilliantly. Not everything works for everybody. You decide which one works for you. And the idea here is to not miss out an easy question. If there is an easy question, you need to crack it out of shape. That is the plan for these kind of exams. So very, very quickly, I said I'll take you 45 minutes. It's been just about 50 minutes. But again, my idea, guys, if you are keen about the IIMs, the MBA, the IIMs, and of course CAT, there is no better time to start but now. Can you do it? Is quant difficult? Are you a non-engineer? Are you a quant fearing guy? You can be God fearing, but quant fearing you can't be. This is bloody arithmetic, 8th, 9th, and 10th algebra. Even otherwise, one thing that we strongly believe is that you need some kind of a guidance. Guidance is not in terms of teaching. Guidance is in terms of making sure that at every point of time there is somebody to tell you, boss, karna kya chahiye? What should you do? How should you do? When should you do? These are the things which will kind of help you, make you feel that okay, there is somebody who will help you. That is exactly the reason why a Vistamind kind of an institute comes into picture. We are probably the only institute in the country which does live online classes for the entire course. We don't give half of them videos and say some of them are extra classes or some of them are doubt clearing sessions that you can come on the weekends. We do it day in, day out, every day in the night like this. You come back from your office, you are sloshed, you are already very, very tired. Don't worry. Eat well, wash up your face, take a bath, sit in front of us for 2 hours, 9:30 to 11:30. That's what we do, like exactly what I'm doing. As you can see what I'm writing, we use what we say. I'll just show you what we use in this thing. There's something called a whiteboard. Here, the concepts can be easily seen. I do it almost like what happens in a board. I use a PPT to give you questions, and then I use this kind of a whiteboard to solve all the questions. You understand? The idea here is to kind of keep you engaged throughout the next 5 to 6 months, that somebody is there who is kind of prodding you, pushing you to do something. You come back in the night, those of you who are working, and of course if you're not working also, instead of probably wasting your weekends, you can utilize your evenings. Of course, those of you who cannot attend on evenings, we also have Saturday, Sunday classes, Saturdays in the afternoons and Sundays in the afternoons, which will ensure that you are comfortable with your preparation. At Vistamind, we have lots of programs. One thing which we are launching, those people who are really, really worried about only quant, they can do themselves everything else, is a quant only online program at just 4,950 bucks. 60 hours of the online classes, 30 classes of all the topics, 50 topic wise tests to ensure that all the topics, that means each topic there are at least 2 tests, and some of them like numbers and geometry, 4 tests. 10 area wise tests, that means each area twice, 2 tests, and 5 sectional tests of 60 minutes each, 34 questions, almost similar to the CAT exam. Of course, the CAT pattern changes, we will change the pattern for the section also as is required. The idea is if you go through this seriously and also solve our material, you will not need a single extra material for quant. It's a guarantee. Having said this, we also have various kinds of things. We have a verbal only online program. We have a full-time online program, which includes data interpretation, logical reasoning, GDPI, the group discussion interview that you need after that, your ZAT exam, SNAP exam, every other exam will be taken care of. That's an online full-time program. That online full-time program is just at 14,950. Anybody who has returned the CAT exam already, we have a director special batch which is on invitation only. You need to give us your CAT score as well as your background. That comes at only 5950 for outside students, and for our students who are already Vistamind students, it comes at 4940. The online full repeaters program, which is slightly different from the online full-time program. Obviously less number of hours, but definitely the same mentorship that is required or available with you. verbal online. We also have a specific program only on smart cats, that is the mock cats. 10 discussions will happen on all these 20 mock cats, which will ensure that you are ready for the exam. There is a separate course which will be given to you, again workshop as smart cats. Those of you are in Chennai, Calcutta, Mysore, Bangalore of course, Jhansi, Siliguri, Varanasi, Kanpur, and now Patna and Faridabad kind of places. We also have a full-time program. It's a classroom program, but for all classroom programs, we also add the online live training completely free. The idea here is to ensure that you get used to and you get the best faculty across the country training you right at your home step, so to say, at your doorstep in that sense of the word. That's what we are, guys. Let me just, these are Mumbai, we do not have any class Anurag for the moment, classroom program as such. A. Srinivas is the guy who is handling this program, online program. He is my colleague, alumnus of IIM Indore. He was supposed to take this class actually. Leena is my counselor. She would have messaged you, mailed you, called you. ARKS, that's my name, ARKS Srinivas. I'm also the CEO of Vistamine. For the last 16 years, I've been training students for various exams. In fact, I don't know how many of you ever even, if you have Google search with you, just go and search for ARKS, ARKS Srinivas, you will know. I'm also the All India Director for CAT at time, the #1 institute at that point of time. It continues to be, by the way, in terms of the number of students at least. Let me tell you something very